education. She earned her master's degree in educational foundations at the University of the Philippines, Diliman, where she's also a time lecturer. Currently, she's a PhD candidate in special education at UP. With 20 years of experience teaching students with additional needs from early interventions to transition ages, Teacher Tina is a trained job coach for PWDs. She has been instrumental in training job coaches in Carmona, Cavite, and in job placement for several persons with autism. She also collaborates with organizations like Habi Education Lab and the ADHD Society of the Philippines. And in addition to her professional achievements, she is a proud wife to Paul and mom to Gabe and Tally, their 2-year-old fraternal twins. Please join me in welcoming Teacher Tina. Yan, Teacher Tina, the floor is now yours.
All right. Nung sinabi mong the floor is now yours, parang bilang HD, ang naisip ko, the floor is lava. Obvious bang nanay ng mga toddlers ngayon? But anyway, thank you for the introduction, Ray. Good afternoon to everybody. I think kasalanan ko rin, sa akin nanggaling yung bio note, pero hindi ko nalagay. Ako rin po ay isang self-advocate. So I am with the ADHD Society of the Philippines because I was diagnosed also with ADHD as an adult. So pagka-graduate ko po ng college, doon po ako na-diagnose and that was the start of my teaching career, and I've been at it for the last 20 years. And ayun na po, kaya kaya ng mga neurodivergent. And I think at this point nakakailang oras tayo. Medyo matagal for someone with ADHD, matagal itong itong event na ito. But I see that everyone is still glued dito sa mga usapan, no? I think it's wonderful that we are hearing stories, narratives about the neurodivergent. Marami kasi kung pag-uusapan lang ay mga neurodivergents, no, ang usually naririnig natin ay yung mga nagtatrabaho to help the neurodivergents. Madalas ang naririnig natin yung point of view or perspective ng teachers, ng psychologists, ng DevPeds, minsan ng parents rin, pero hindi pa nga siya as empowering, no, as the narratives that we heard today. So I am very, very grateful and thankful for the organizers of this event. First of all, for the invitation, no, for me to moderate today, but also kasi it's such an experience to hear actual stories. I don't know how you're feeling after the 3 hours of listening to the different narratives na nakita nyo, no, how well spread the topics are. Maraming na-cover, and I'm sure whatever topic that is, no, meron at merong mga kwento na nakarelate kayo or that resonated with you. So maybe we can process a little bit about those feelings as well, no? Baka yung iba kasi are especially the first part, no, very empowering. Sabi nga nakaka-proud, nakakatuwa. Kung nagulat kayo o kaya medyo naawa rin dun sa ibang stories, okay lang din yun, no? All feelings are valid, sabi nga nila. But then I would like to siguro just to remind us, no, about why we're doing all of this. Yung stories ng neurodivergence. If kasama dun sa mga responses natin or reactions natin sa mga kwento nila are awa at gulat, maybe we also will have to step back and rethink ano ba at saan ba tayo nanggagaling. Sabi, nothing about us without us. These are actually real stories of persons who are neurodivergent, but then talaga bang nakakagulat, no, na maraming abilities, maraming kayang gawin ang mga neurodivergents. Sabi nga ni Red kanina, different but not less. So if meron pa ring awa, meron pa ring gulat, meron pa ring ganun pala, let's maybe eventually try to work on moving forward. At yun nga, no, yun ang point ng lahat ng ginagawa natin ngayon, lahat ng mga narinig natin, especially the NPRA or House Bill 9787. we've been talking about feelings. Marami actually tayong mga nakita na mga reactions, no, to all of the narratives that we've heard. And we have actual people that we invited, people who work with neurodivergence as well, who sent their own reactions or responses to the narratives. So at this point, I would like to ask the tech team if we could pull out the video sent to us by Sir Grant Javier. So Sir Grant Javier is the Executive Director of Project Inclusion, and Project Inclusion Network also worked hand in hand with the Philippine Business and Disability Network. Kakatapos lang ng kanilang conference last week ba or a few weeks ago. And I did see earlier that there was a comment na sana merong stories on inclusive employment. So narinig niyo yung story ni Red kanina. Maybe we can also hear the response of Sir Grant. So let's play this video.
Hi everyone, magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Unang-una, nais ko pong pasalamat sa Filipino Alliance for Neurodiversity and to Find Philippines for finding me and giving me this chance to be able to react to this beautiful webinar that you have put together. Tunay po na napakahalaga ng webinar na to. Why? Because it's very, very informational, very, very, very educational for a lot of our Filipino brethren who still are not in the know in terms of neurodiversity. I have listened through all of the talks that you have recorded, and I'm very impressed with all the different presentations. I'm also very happy to find so many of the people that I've worked with throughout these years. Kinakatuwa na tayo ngayon ay nagkakasama-sama para sa gawain to. But I'd like to emphasize a number of things that have really stood out for me on the different presentations. One, I find very much enlightening the presentation of Red. I met Red last year in the first ever Philippine Disability Expo. And I was very pleased to have met him there. Why? Because I've been really looking for self-advocates, persons with disabilities, persons with autism, who can really advocate for themselves. Why? Because we need people like Red and all of the other presenters here. As we deal with the different companies, we have to be able to show them that truly persons with disabilities can. What do I mean by that? When Project Inclusion Network deals with these companies, we tell them that the best advocates for persons with disabilities are the persons with disabilities themselves. Kaya naman nakakatuwa na marinig mismo mula kay Red ang kanyang naging journey from education to graduation to his OJT, internship, to his work, and then all of his different learnings. Kaya nakakatuwa na siya mismo nasasabi niya to because this definitely shows how true the mantra that we say that the best advocates are the persons with disability themselves. Second, doon po sa kinikwento niya, doon po sa bill on yung NPRA, he mentioned a number of things there. And all of those things that Red have mentioned there actually are the things that we've already been working on in Project Inclusion Network. That's why you have an ally in Project Inclusion Network. First and foremost, we educate, we capacitate companies to make sure that persons with disabilities are not only able to access the jobs, but definitely they will be given reasonable accommodations for them to perform well in the jobs that they need, that they want, and that they are hired for. Sinisiguro namin yan. Secondly, nakalagay rin dun sa act na pinapasa natin ngayon na dapat sila ay mabigyan, ang mga persons with disability job seekers or employees for that matter, ay mabigyan ng karapatan, ng tamang kabayaran, kung anong nararapat para sa kanila. Same benefits, equal pay, equal opportunities at work. At yan po ang tinataguyo din ng Project Inclusion Network, especially to the Philippine Business and Disability Network. Our partner companies ay sumusunod po dyan. Hindi po kami nakikipag-partner sa mga company na hindi kayo babayaran ng tama. Why? Because we have a covenant with them to ensure that naitataguyod ang karapatan ng bawat taong may kapansanan na nagtatrabaho sa kanilang kumpanya. And you also mentioned something about the education, yung role ng TESDA. I don't know, not many people know about this, but Project Inclusion Network with the help of ILO, International Labor Organization, kami po ay nagsagawa ng isang study kung saan amin pong inassess ang kalagayan ng TESDA with regards to being accessible for persons with disability and inclusive. Hindi lamang ang kanilang curriculum but even all of their processes. And what have we found out? That definitely there's a long way to go for TESDA. Meron po kaming paper on that. And we've already made policy recommendations. We've already piloted the capacity development for the different regional heads of TESDA. We've also made a resource toolkit para po sa mga institution owners ng TVET. Ayan. Para po tunay naman mapangalagaan ang karapatan ng mga persons with disabilities at sila'y makapag-aral ng tama, maibigay ang curriculum ng tama, maintindihan nila ito, at ito po ay magamit nila para later on po sila ay magkatrabaho. So kaisa niyo po kami with regards to this act, but also an assurance na may mga bagay na po na nangyayari sa ating pong panahon ngayon. Kaya nga po kakampinin niyo ang Project Inclusion Network. And thank you as well for all the different presenters on the different other topics. I appreciate all of them. Why? Because it also affirms us that we are on the right track sa PBDN at sa Project Inclusion Network. Kaya naman po, isa pong aking panghihikayat para po sa inyo, please do continue to speak out. Let's work together, let's come together more often, and let's sit down. I would want to be able to meet all of you later on in person, to be able to share with you as well our experiences in PIN and PBDN. We always tell our partners, yung atin din pong sinasabi dito sa ating advocacy sa disability sector, that there should be nothing about us without us. You won't believe it, but in PBDN, we campaign that. We campaign for that a lot. That we tell them that policies, programs, even inside companies, should be made with the participation of and in consultation with persons with disabilities. So napakahalaga po ng bagay na yan. Yung nothing for us, nothing about us without us. Nothing for us without us. Alam niyo po, sa ibang bansa, sa mga ibang bagay, sa ibang lugar na aking napuntahan na, ang kanila pong sinasabi ito, nothing without us, period. It's not about the disability even. It's all about being inclusive of every person who are part of that community, who are part of the society. Nothing without us. At ayan pong ating pinagsusumikapan. Kaya po patuloy po natin itong ating gawain na to at mabuhay po kayo at kaisa niyo po kami sa gawain ito. As I always say, the word inclusion starts with I, with the individual. But at the heart of inclusion are the letters U and S, which is us. We should all work together to build a more inclusive, a more accessible, a barrier-free society. Because inclusion is the work of all and it benefits us all. Thank you very much. This is Grant Javier from Project Inclusion Network and Philippine Business and Disability Network.
Yan. Maraming salamat po kay Sir Grant. So kitang-kita natin dito na very empowering talaga, no, how yung response niya, ano rin, nakakatuwa rin, no, na marinig yung actual na mga nangyayari na on the ground. Sabi nga, marami pang kailangan gawin. Malayo pa, pero malayo na. Yun naman ang ano rin, ang kailangan din nating matandaan, no? So it's nice to hear also from our reactors. We have one more reactor who sent her message. This is and I'd like to read it because she is not available to join us live. This one, I know this person. This is our reactor is teacher Joanne Coronado. She's a speech and language pathologist and also administrator of Milestones Therapy Center. She sent 2 reactions, but since Mr. JC Sakin is not around to answer her question, I'll just read her second question. And this is directed to Mr. Red Ligot. So Red, Teacher Joanne said, it's nice to know that your experiences as a neurodivergent person in the workplace for the first 6 months is very much similar to most people starting out with their work. I also agree that resting and keeping in touch with your families and friends, especially when experiencing struggles, are very important. Now, her question, what were the accommodations done in your workplace that facilitated you to be able to deliver your job well despite adjustments being made? Okay, so yun ang kanyang question. Would you like to answer?
Yeah, sure. In my first 6 months of work, 'cause at that time, I hadn't yet requested any specific accommodations. I was just trying to work as hard as possible. But when I reached that breaking point, that's when I started asking for more extensions. Like when I sort of feeling that I couldn't meet the deadline. Apart from that, another thing that helped is parang requesting that I have more because I work from home, so parang requesting that if it's all right with them that I take some breaks in between work, like 15 minutes or so, to go outside or get a breath of fresh air, or just to refresh my brain. So that was one of those reasonable accommodations that helped me, so that when I went back to my laptop, I sort of had a fresher perspective on whatever feature I was implementing or whatever bug I was fixing. So those sort of accommodations helped a lot with my ADHD, because there are times where just sitting down straight for like several hours working, it makes it actually harder to do whatever you're doing. You really need to take a step back to get a different perspective on the problem, so that when you get back, you know how to implement it. And it also helped a lot that especially when I had the a depressive episode, they allowed me to have they allowed me to use my vacation leave and sick leave in consecutive times, that I really had some space to parang recover with my family. That was around like last year, I think, that I really requested that I needed to take a really long break. Like I think parang umabot ng halos 2 weeks ata. Like, so that was 10 days off. I had to use some of my leave credits, but I mean, luckily pinayagan naman ako. Because yun nga, in-explain ko yung sitwasyon ko na parang halos gusto ko nang mag-resign sa work at that time. So I really needed to think deeply about where I was going. I had to talk to my parents and process what was happening. So yun, those sort of things helped a lot when I was at work. So yun.
All right. Thank you very much for sharing that, Red. And I think what's important to remember here, to understand, is what accommodations really means. Kasi, or what the term really means, as opposed to pinagbibigyan or parang binibigyan ng special treatment. In special education, we have what we call accommodations, which are hindi naman opposite to, pero iba rin siya sa modifications na tinatawag. We have curricular accommodations. And when you say you need to accommodate a student or a person, you don't exactly change the level of difficulty. You don't change the content. Walang nagbabago dun sa mga kailangan gawin ng estudyante. Ang nagbabago lang yung delivery. Siguro, minsan yung deadlines nga not even, sometimes it's a stretch, no, kung ipapa-extend mo ang deadlines. Pero alam din natin na minsan hindi posible yun. Pero hindi lang kasi yun ang accommodations, no? So we have other accommodations, such as, sabi mo nga, maybe taking breaks in between, hindi kailangan dire-diretso. And I think that's true for work, people working from home, kasi parang minomonitor usually ang ang work kapag like, I think there are some that minomonitor pagka lumalabas nung nagsi-step out of the monitor, etc. So Simple things like that, no? Hindi binago yung trabaho, hindi binigyan ng special treatment, pero meron lang konting adjustments when it comes to maybe the delivery. So that I think is something that a lot of employers will need to understand, especially if you are hesitant, no, about providing these for our neurodivergents. Pero yun, kailangan talaga. Again, hindi natin pinadadali ang buhay. We're just, sabi nga, merong different needs, hindi kakulangan, pero kailangan pa ring ibigay para mag-function ng mas maayos, no? So, maraming salamat, Red, for your insights. I'd like to now proceed to another reaction. So, meron isang nag-send rin. This is from Professor Michelle Ong she's a faculty member of UP Diliman's Department of Psychology and an ugnayan ng pahinungod psychosocial support volunteer. So this one, she sent a question actually for teachers. But I think due to the nature also of her question, anyone from the speakers, from the resource persons, or maybe yung mga in-invite natin kanina to talk, anyone can answer. So ang question niya, can you tell us about the ways non-SPED teachers can be more helpful or supportive? Or do you have examples of how teachers, even when well-meaning, might inadvertently be unhelpful? Okay, I think, although parang ang teacher yung tanong, no, I think best persons to answer this would be the neurodivergent kasi coming from their perspective, no, paano ba pwedeng makatulong ang mga teachers, lalo na kung hindi sila SPED trained or wala pa sila masyadong alam about inclusive education practices. So, sino ba ang mga pwedeng sumagot? Who would like to perhaps offer some insights? I know here in the Zoom chat room, we have several people. Dun sa mga nagsalita kanina, parang, Carla, you're here. Are you okay to speak or just here in the chat room? Sorry. Naghahanap ako ng mga pwede kasi
Hi, sorry, I'm here. I just had to fix my
Sorry to
background.
put you on the spot.
It's okay, it's okay.
Sorry to put you on the spot. All right. You might want
It's
to
okay.
answer?
Yeah. This is not limited to teachers. I think this is limited to this is open to school administrators as well. But having an open mind to accept students with neurodivergent or the neurodiverse students, because although we have the Inclusive Education Act, a lot of schools would still say, oh, but we're not in the capacity to handle students such as this is very more particular for ADHD and children in the spectrum. Na schools would say, oh, we're not ready to accept students such as them without actually assessing yung bata. So I think yun yung una that first they have to get in the schools, first they have to get into the educational system first. Another thing is, so assume natin na the student is already enrolled, yung instructions, it has to be common sense is not so common. This is a communication thing na i-assume natin. We always have to assume na hindi dapat wala pang alam or something. We don't assume anything na dapat alam mo na to by this time or dapat you're able to do this or so always ask questions. Treat them like you would any other student because we know if we're being treated differently. So yun yung things that I observed during my tenure as a student and things that I would have wanted to have happened differently. So yun. I hope that answered the question.
Yeah, thank you, Carla. Actually, there's I think so many ways that we can answer this question. Sabi nga parang directed siya sa mga teachers, sped teachers, but actually, parang yung root ng sagot na to dapat nang gagaling sa mga neurodivergents. Because as we said nga nothing about us without us. Sorry, parang ilang beses nating uulitin yan, yung phrase na yan today. But it really is true. Sanay tayo na we turn to the so-called experts, yung mga may training, ganyan, pagdating sa education. Of course, I'm an educator, pero I'm not, trying to say na hindi importante yon. Pero kasi, kung nakakalimutan nga ang perspective ng mga actual recipients of education, our actual learners, minsan, walang sense yung napakagaling ng training mo kung saan ka man nanggaling na bansa train, no? Yung mga educational degrees mo. Wala yon if you are not listening to the students. So sabi nga ni Carla, the mindset is really important. I'm happy that here in the chat box there are some people who would like to answer also. So I think si Sir Kim Lawrence Esperanza, would you like to answer, sir, also?
Narinig niyo ba ako?
Yes po.
Okay. Dapat yung mga information, aside sa mga pag-provide ng visual aids, dapat yung information dapat clear and direct, according to Mariam. Tsaka, hindi lang clear and direct, dapat digestible din. Tsaka, yung mga information, para makomprehend, dapat may bullet points. May bullet points naman siya, para madali naman makabisado at ma-take down yung notes. Kung mahaba yung information to the point na parang nakakabobo na, parang paano ko mamememorize? Kung sobrang pagkahaba-haba ng information, kung hindi ako magkakamali, please correct me if I'm wrong, information overload. Kasi sa sobrang haba ng information, ang hirap talaga ma-memorize kasi yung academics, it's more on memorizing and complying. Pero hindi ko dama yung learning Pero ang tunay na learning, yung pagkatuto ko sa labas ng school. Kailangan ko matuto at my own pace. Hindi tulad sa school, parang you have the specific deadline at the specific time para magawa yung pinapagawa ng teachers. So yun na po yun. This is from my experience na hanggang senior high ang natapos ko. I'm currently working at home, by the way.
Thank you very much, Kim, for your insights. Wag nating binabaliwala yung mga ganitong klaseng sharing, ganitong experiences, because these are real things that happen on the ground. As I said, baliwala lahat ng mga degree natin bilang educators. Kung hindi natin naiisip, tumatagos ba sa mga estudyante natin? So I guess yun din, ako parang sinagot ko na rin yung question kahit dapat nag-moderate ako. But yeah, how can we help our students further? Just try to imagine, lagay mo yung sarili mo sa lugar nila. Ikaw ba pagka nagtuturo, 'di ba, naintindihan mo ba pagka info overload, sabi nga kanina ni Kim. So, yan, marami pang mga perspectives, no? At ito naman, si Miss Princess May Bartolome. Yan, meron din siyang mga gustong i-share. Princess, babasahin ko lang muna kung ano yung sinulat mo and then maybe you can share, or would you like to proceed? Okay. So, sabi niya sa chat box, unconditional positive regard with having empathy and without judgments. Yun ang kanyang unang sagot. And then, that's specific to non-SPED teachers. So would you like to expound on that?
Kasi personal experience lang po. Kasi lang po ako, hindi po ako na-diagnose na may autism po. If it wasn't na parang may compassionate na teachers na parang, kasi nakikitaan na ako ng red flag dati na parang, ay bakit mentally unstable ka? Bakit di man nako-comply yung mga tasks? Tapos naalala ko, parang naramdaman ko yung teacher na may paki sa akin. Tapos na parang sinadjust ako na mag-consult sa guidance. And then, ayun nga, parang nirefer na ko as in sa therapy talaga, yung therapist, hindi lang guidance counselor. And I think, alam mo yun, kasi we can have a lot of like na ito yung mga instructions na gagawin para mo-consider. Pero kung hindi nadadama kung sincere talaga na may paki talaga yung tao sa'yo, parang ano. So parang, ayun lang din naman, aside lang din sa unconditional positive regard, I think ang ipupush din natin na parang we deserve to be unconditionally loved kahit neurotypical, neurodivergent tayo. I've been a really huge advocate for that because I believe that na we are not less, we are deserve of love, and basta we deserve love lang talaga. That's all lang naman. Medyo emotional lang po ako. That's all. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And I understand.
Excuse me, pwede ko bang may dagdag? Meron ako nakalimutan
Yes,
na
go ahead.
information.
Go
Ito
ahead. Is that
sa classroom
I'm
kasi,
sorry, Kim.
sa classroom kasi madalas may ingay yung mga kaklase ko at ako naiingayan ako, so when I feel the need na lumabas, lalabas ako papunta sa library, which is sobrang tahimik pero hindi sapat I need some place na yung parang space sa classroom na merong sensory friendly. Kasi as per me, based on my experience, naiingayan talaga ako. Kasi karamihan sa mga kaklase ko sobrang madaldal, sobrang rowdy. Ako lang yung student na introverted na autistic. Parang on the outside parang okay lang, pero deep inside parang hindi ko kaya yung So I have to feel the need na lalabas ako for a few minutes. Ganun. I have to add something.
Yes. Thank you. And that's worth adding, I think, no, yung nakakalimutan ng marami, yung sensory needs. So thank you, Kim, for your additional answers. Next, Kevin, would you like to share anything?
Yes, good afternoon, family.
Good afternoon.
My experience po sa sa school, sa college, minsan matahimik talaga ako sa buhay. As in, matahimik talaga ako noon. Ever since nasa college pa ako noon, parang inisip ko na anong lesson pa bibigay sa akin ng teacher sa akin, anong lesson pa ang bibigay sa akin. Pero yung sa adjustment program pa lang, parang feeling ko na parati ako nabubuli, parati ako sa buhay. Ever since na puro asar, libang, o gusto nila ako bugbugin o mga ganun, parang inisip ko na parang nagre-rage na ako sa sarili ko. Pero ever since na pasok ako sa rehab, which is Roads and Bridges to Recovery, under Metro Psych Facility, doon na ako na control yung mga emotions ko and to help myself from being mentally spirited and stuff like that. Tapos, ang golden rule sa amin sa Roads and Bridges to Recovery or RBR, humility and acceptance. Isa sa mga unwritten philosophies namin na pinapatuto sa amin sa buhay. Even if you comply it outside sa mga educations and sa mga iba't ibang bagay, doon ako nakatututo ng humility and acceptance. Tapos, sobriety is an option talaga for me. For me, in-insight ko to yung sobriety ko sa buong buhay ko. Kaya 6 months sober na ako sa labas right now. 18 months ako nagstay sa RBR. Since, ayun yung sinabi ko kanina sa chat box ng Zoom. And also, yun nga baka ma-apply nyo ito sa lahat ng mga taong may person with disability na humility and acceptance lang ang kailangan dyan sa buhay natin. So thank you very much and God bless.
Thank you very much. And congratulations also on your sobriety.
Thank you.
So thank you. I'm so grateful for everyone for sharing their insights. I think even this one is unusual because talagang usually ang experts na kilala ng karamihan yung mga may degree na may fields of specialization. Pero nakakalimutan again yung mga dapat tanungin yung actual people involved. So siguro another way to answer that question of Dr. Michelle would be to ask, no? You can ask your students directly, what is it that you need? How can I help? Okay, maybe one more person to answer the question of Dr. Michelle before we move on to the next topic. Mr. Rafael Angelo Dailo. Would you like to share?
Yes.
Answer. Yes, go ahead, sir.
Good afternoon po. So I already graduate on Quirino High School since 2014. And for 2016, I enrolled Asian College TESDA since 2016 to 2017. Ang nakuha ko po yung course is animation, NC2 and NC3. So, kaya ko mag-drawing ng kahit anong characters, like mga cartoons or anime. So, ayun. Lagi ako po nag-maintain. Pati din na po, shading. Mas importante for the assessment. So, ayun. Kailangan po yan. For recently, nakapasa po ako ng NC2 and NC3. So, thanks to my trainer and my last classmates. So ayun po. Nag-a-apply po ako ng job ng autism at work. So, I met Ma'am Mona. She's a president from ASP Kamunling po. So, ayun, I learned speaking Japanese. So, ayun, nakapasa po ako ng interview. And, so, ayun, nag-start po ako ng job ng Dotonbori Okonomiyaki Inc. Since almost dapat po sana 6 years po eh. So, ayun. Nag 5 years na lang po ako ng Dotonbori. So, ayun. I decided to resign my job. Grabe, sobrang sakit po talaga. Sobrang depression po sa nangyari. Kasi umaalis ng dating kasama ko. So, na-feel ko yung na-burn out. Ayun. Pati din yung dating manager ko umaalis dahil ayun, may family problem katulad ko. So, ayun, I decided to resign my job last February 1 kasi di po ako sanay sa puyat sa gabi galing sa work. So, ayun po. Also, I already enrolled the TESDA program as bread and pastry NC2. Sobrang ikli po yung assessment namin po. So, ayun po, nakapasa po ako ulit sa NC2. So anyway, dami ko pong skills yung ginawa ko po para at least natutunan ko po lahat. So, ayun. Mahirap po talaga maghanap ng job. Sana may exist ng program ng PWDs or other autism adult autism program para ma-open ang job. So, kaya ko na magdasal. Sana maghanap ng mas magandang job. So, ayun po. Yun lang po.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Dailo. Nakita natin no na may mga opportunities no. Minsan hindi para sa lahat no, hindi pa accessible talaga sa lahat at ganun kadami yung mga opportunities din na kailangan natin i-open for our neurodivergents. Going back to the question no of Professor Michelle regarding what teachers or non-SPED teachers can do so that they can be more helpful or supportive, maybe we can also ask yung mga teachers no na nag-support dito sa mga success stories na narinig natin. Peer collaboration and learning from each other, learning from other peers, I think is very important. And it would prove to be a good culture na pwede natin din i-develop sa education community. Now at this point, I would like to call another reactor, pero nandito siya live. So maraming salamat. I'm thankful that you're here, Teacher Dom. So Teacher Dominic Chok is an instructor at UP College of Allied Medical Professions. He's also an occupational therapy consultant at Chatter Therapy Center. He studied Bachelor of Science in Occupational Therapy at UP College of Allied Medical Professions, and with De La Salle University as well. And I attended one of the trainings that he gave on transition planning. This is with IDEA Initiatives a few years back. So I'm glad to see you, Teacher Dom. Would you like to share your reactions also? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tina, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the attention. So I know it's been how many hours full of learning and stories, no? So sobrang, for me personally, I felt yung happiness kasi as an occupational therapist, this is one of our goals, no, na maging self-advocate yung mga clients namin, yung mga students namin. And I'm happy to see a lot of siguro students sila before, and then now they're finding jobs or they're actually working, and then they're able to really retain their job. So that's very good. And I am also seeing familiar faces. So good afternoon po sa lahat. So yeah, siguro just to add, so bakit ako nandito? So aside from being an occupational therapist, I'm also a brother of a young adult with autism. So although hindi siya yung story namin is different, no? Kasi syempre iba-iba naman tayo ng narratives and stories. Pero I'm very happy and heartwarmed na parang grabe, ang dami na talagang different opportunities for those na neurodiverse. So siguro just to share yung reactions or insights ko din sa mga topics natin. No? So first, education, I agree na kailangan talaga working collaboratively tayo with teachers and the student. No? Kasi sometimes we are very particular with the curriculum na kailangan maaral mo to, kailangan ito yung makuha ko. Pero how do we actually accommodate? Like you mentioned, Ms. Tina, like ano yung mga reasonable accommodations that could be applied or that could be used or utilized dun sa classroom na yon? Kasi at the moment, di ba, yung special education classes natin, exclusive pa rin, no? Naka-exclude sila for most schools. So, kailangan pa rin natin ng more inclusive education, di ba, na sinasabi. And I think marami na tayo mga initiatives para magkaroon ng inclusive education dito sa Philippines. So I hope that the different organizations in this webinar would be able to help or collaborate para mas ma-push natin to sa different institutions, different schools, both public and private. Yan. In terms of employment naman, so sobrang inspiring yung kwento ni Red ni Clara, no? So ang una kong reflection doon, mas maganda talaga kung mas strengthen yung education to employment transition natin. So what do I mean by that? So di ba usually pagkatapos mag-aral, usually nasa-stuck sila. Diba? Parang, okay, so pagkatapos ko mag-aral, ano nang gagawin ko next? So some of them would be able to find a job based dun sa napag-aralan nila, which is good. But however, there are some students na nasa-stuck sila sa bahay nila or hindi sila maalam dun sa resources within their community. So I think this webinar really opened a lot of opportunities, especially me na nasabi ko, grabe na yung mga institutions na pala or NGOs na nabuo at ang leader would be those with yung mga neurodivergent individuals natin. So that's very nice to know for me. And siyempre, share ko din siya sa different colleagues ko kasi that would be very, ayan. And then, one big factor na na-share would be the match nung skills and capabilities nung nila Red tsaka ni Clara dun sa job na meron sila yung matching. So, feeling kasi, well, nandun pa rin kasi yung sinabi ni, I think that was Gerard, yung infantilizing yung mga neurodivergent individuals na hindi nila kaya to. So a lot of people are assuming na they will stay like that. Bata lang sila. Pero in this webinar, the voices, the stories are telling us that they are more than what people see. Diba? So I hope a lot of lay people would be open to be accepting them for those in yung may mga neurodivergence or mga neurodiverse. Yeah. And then in terms of dun sa research and development, so JC is an occupational therapist, so pareho po kami. So I agree with the research na kailangan meron din tayong data to really back up yung paglobby ng NTRA. So if ever you need some support, so you can tap different professionals. So you can tap me po through email if you need manpower or some help or support para at least ma-push natin yung endeavors. Ayan. In terms of healthcare, ito po talaga yung patama sa amin, no, na grabe, no, pag sa specialist, long waiting time. So I would really agree. And I think nag-lead siya sa mga late diagnosis and intervention. So ang pinaka nakita kong concern doon would be nagkakaroon sila ng struggle sa school or sa work. Diba? So hopefully magawa ng paraan na ma-shorten yung waiting time. And I think ang dami ng centers, no? Marami ng clinics and centers around Manila and even outside Manila, Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao na napuput up. So I hope they are some options na meron for our neurodivergent individuals. So I think factor is, of course, mas marami na tayong awareness, diba? Kaya maganda rin yung paglabas ng different things. Another concern that was raised by Mommy Snooki was high cost of care. Diba? Yung from 600 to 1,000. So nagulat din ako noon kasi parang when I started working 2011, iba pala yung cost of care sa ngayon. And I was really reflecting after watching the video na, bakit kaya? And I was thinking na ang dami din kasing changes, lalo na sa paratiga natin ngayon. So number one is a lot of occupational therapists explore different settings, specifically going into different areas. Ayan. So, of course, it is their decision to explore other areas. So, we have to really support them. Pero yun, yun yung isang factor. Kaya siguro, konti lang yung naiiwan dito sa Pilipinas. Another one is cost of living. So, we know that inflation rate is very high. So, I think meron din siyang correlation somewhat. Yeah. But, ako, ang call ko lang, if there are any OTs out there, ayan, encourage more to stay and serve the Filipino people. Kasi, as you've seen, ang dami nating matutulungan. So, sila dito, work na, they're self-advocating themselves. So, we have a lot of clients waiting for our services para mas ma-open up yung potentials. And then, on mental health naman po dito, okay? Ayan, so, sabi ko nga dito sa reflection ko, parenting compassion fatigue is real. So, totoo siya. Na darating sa point na yung joy nawawala, feeling mo, hindi ka na naka-experience. So, I would like to know more of the psychoeducational program that she mentioned. So, sana mas ma-share niya sa atin kung ano yun. Okay? Ayan, para at least makapag-provide tayo ng care for the carers. So, yun yung naisip ko. Then lastly, yung adult support challenges, yung talagang nag-stuck sa akin would be, paano sila kung wala na kami? So that's a very big question for a brother. So hindi pa ako parent, pero feeling ko nandun din yung parang question sa akin na, what if my parents, parang mauna sila? So ano na mangyayari for the care? So it is good, or for the parents out there, please support the endeavors of your neurodivergent child or adult, because if you really provide support, if you really give all sa kanila para maging independent at makuha nila yung gusto nila, I think they will be really good citizens of this country and makakapag-contribute to the society. Ayan. So I think that's it, Ms. Tina. So thank you for hearing my reactions, and I am really happy to hear all the stories, and grabe, nakaka-empower siya for a healthcare professional like.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Teacher Dom. And thank you again to the organizers. Gusto ko ibalik lahat ng nung pasasalamat at ng credit sa ating organizers for thinking of an activity such as this, because it really gave us a platform to hear all of your stories firsthand. And nakikita natin how diverse the stories are, how far-reaching din, and how complicated it is to actually respond to all of our concerns. And siguro gusto kong ibalik tayong lahat doon, ano. I know, I'm sorry, I'll apologize to those who have been sending questions and have been raising their hands here in Zoom. I would like to accommodate all of you, but we are pressed for time. And I think, this just goes to show nga how this topic is so rich. Hindi pwedeng pag-usapan ng isang upuan lang. At definitely hindi pwedeng kumbaga hindi pwedeng hindi kayo mapakinggan, no? So I'd like to remind everyone that there is a fan page for fan. It's a fan meaning Filipino Alliance for Neurodiversity, of course. Pero mag-fan na rin tayo doon. Fangirling na ako dahil talaga naman mga rockstar itong mga members ng fan na ito. So the link is in, so Nads just posted the link in Zoom. But also, I think, pinupost din siya on Facebook right now. The questions, you can direct your questions there. We need more narratives because these narratives will help us also when we craft the policy, no? Of course, hindi naman tayo directly yung gagawa ng mga policies, but we are currently working and collaborating with a lot of people to ensure na yung pinasang yung currently ay House Bill na ngayon, which is HB 9787, ay talagang dumiretso na maipasa, no? So may panahon pa, no, para magsalita. Laging may panahon para magsalita. We just need to collaborate and organize all of the thoughts, all of the insights, all of the stories. And gaya ng sinabi kanina ni Teacher Dom, no, maraming opportunities to help. You can if you think, no, kaya ng skills, job match, kumbaga, yung skills dun sa kinakailangan na trabaho, why not go into helping in research or go into allied health professions? Kung kayang mag-college, mukhang meron tayong drive at may commitment, may budget, at merong skills to go into professional work, why not go into something that would help this cause? No? So we need all hands together so that we can make things happen. Malayo pa, ano ba yan? Malayo pa, pero malayo na. So at this point, I would like to thank everyone for participating. Again, the questions that were sent to us, pasensya na po, hindi natin na answer lahat. Hindi ko na rin nabigyan ng opportunity yung iba na magsalita. But go to the fan page, and I would like to say thank you again for the opportunity and give the floor back to Amrei. Thank you, Amrei.
Thank you, Teacher Tina. But before you leave, I'd like to take this opportunity on behalf of NCDA Executive Director Ms. Glenda Relova. Would like to award you the certificate of recognition. In grateful recognition of your participation as the live open forum moderator and for your support as a SPED practitioner and higher education teacher in this webinar titled Kami Naman, Neurodivergent Narratives, Voices from Self-Advocates, Families, and Allies. Maraming salamat, Teacher Tina. And we'd also like to award this certificate to Mr. Grant Javier, of Executive Director of Project Inclusion, for your reaction, for the question as well of Dr. Michelle Ong of the University of the Philippines Department of Psychology, well, of course, to Mr. Dominic Chok, as an occupational therapist, And as a reactor, ang dami po naming natutunan na insights from you. Magpatuloy pa rin po natin ang discussion, sir. And for the question as well of Ms. Joanne Jean Coronado. And oops, this is my certificate. Maraming salamat din po, Ma'am Glenda Relova. Yan. So before we conclude, of course, I would like to extend our heartfelt thanks to the following organizations for their support. NCDA, maraming salamat po for giving us this platform to talk about our causes. Family members, ADHD Society of the Philippines, Adult Autistic Association of the Philippines, Boundless Possibilities Foundation, Inc., Families of Individuals with Neurodevelopmental Disabilities Philippines, Filipino Autistic Self-Advocacy Team, Inc., Philippine Neurodivergent Self-Advocates, Psychological Association of the Philippines Persons with Disabilities Special Interest Group, and Vital Strats Creative Solutions. Special thanks din syempre sa ating sign language interpreters na si Mr. Junjun Sevilla. Thank you po. Maraming salamat po. And si Mr. Renato Soriano Jr. Syempre, it wouldn't be possible itong promotion ng ating well-attended na webinar without our publicity materials team led by Ma'am Wilma Ligot, who is also our overall punong abala event coordinator. Miss Weng, maraming salamat po sa inyo. And of course, yung certificates and social media committee natin. Yan. Si Cherry Jane Lau. We also have Danielle Lina, Nadswa Mukaram, and Jesusa Humphreys. Maraming salamat sa inyo. So maraming salamat din po sa Spedabilities. Yan, sa Spedability Teach Academic Tutoring Services for the video editing. Hosting then by Vital Strats Creative Solutions. Our Secretariat, Ms. Mary V. Cabason, yan, of Find Philippines, and our overall event coordinator, of course, Ms. Weng Ligot, LPT. Yan. So thank you all for joining us today. And we've had the privilege of hearing from a remarkable group of individuals who have shared their experiences. O si Ma'am Tina, may pahabol, Ma'am Tina. Go ahead.
Oo, sorry. I'm so sorry kasi meron lang pinadala si Attorney Reyes, kaya lang sa akin niya ata napadala. I just would like to read it out loud kasi para rin ma-plug.
Okay.
She said regarding the paano na sila kung wala na kami. Our Down Syndrome Association has a strong sibling support group. We have this seminar for sharing and training our siblings of our children with Down syndrome. I designed this training. I am the mom of Clara Reyes. Your groups may also be interested to have these training for siblings of neurodivergent individuals. So thank you very much. Yun lang. Gusto ko lang kasi sa akin ata napadala. Thank you.
Maraming salamat for offering that at Attorney Ray and the mommy of Clara. Maraming salamat po. So pakilagay na lang din po sa chat how the members or how the advocates can reach out to you po. Yan. So as we close, as I've said a while ago, we've had the privilege of hearing from a remarkable group of individuals na nag-share po ng kanilang mga stories, experiences, at saka expertise na rin po on neurodiversity. Mula education, to employment, to healthcare, to public awareness, legal and policy discussions. Ang dami po nating na-cover na broad spectrum of topics that are really important para maintindihan po natin at masuportahan ang neurodivergent community. The Neurodivergent People's Rights Act, it's a crucial step towards ensuring na ang ating neurodivergent individuals and loved ones receive the support and recognition that they deserve. This act aims to provide inclusive education, equitable employment opportunities, accessible healthcare, and comprehensive community support. Call to action po ito para sa ating lahat to stand together and advocate for the rights and inclusion of neurodivergent individuals. So I encourage everyone here to join us in supporting this important bill. Please spread the word, engage with policymakers, and become an active part of this movement. Together, we can make a significant difference and create a world where every neurodivergent individual can thrive. Maraming salamat po. Kita-kita po ulit tayo. Nandun lang po kami sa fan Facebook page. Let's continue the discussion there and stay tuned po sa mga future programs and activity po ng fan dahil marami pa pong mga discussions na magaganap about this important cause. Thank you very much, everyone. Yan. So I will end by letting you hear our music for NPRA. Yeah. Let me just share my screen.
Sky of dreams, a child's whisper wide, seeping light where shadows often hide, with care and understanding in every stride. Under the NPR way, hope is our guide. A world for everyone, rights and support we will defend. Under the NPR way, unity and hope will blend. In the fields of work, dreams take their flight, with guidance and support shining bright. Hope in the community, hearts unite. In every step, we embrace the light. A world for everyone, rights and support we will defend. Under the NPR right, unity and hope will blend. In the fields of work, dreams take their flight, with guidance and support shining bright. Hope in the community, hearts unite. In every step, we embrace the light. Voices of hope rise like the dawn. Under one star, together we're strong. Against discrimination, we fight on. In heart and mind, where hope belongs, there are voices yearning to be heard. Stories of hope waiting for the word. Under the law, let justice be stirred. For the future, let light be conferred. A world for everyone, rights and support we will defend. Under the NPR right, unity and hope will blend. In every song and word, voices of hope. A world for everyone, we unite. Under the NPR right, hope will blaze. Rights and support shining bright.